11:45 p.m. The last local train from Queens to Long Island was almost empty. Only 4 passengers sat scattered across the coach. Outside the window, darkness swallowed everything except the occasional flicker of old streetlights rushing past. My name is Ryan Miller. I work night shifts at an IT support company. That night, work ran late. No buses, no Uber available. The train was my last option. Across from me sat a middle-aged man wearing plain clothes. His face looked strangely exhausted, and his eyes didn't seem to focus properly, as if he wasn't fully present. After a while, I noticed he kept looking at me. I avoided eye contact. Then, in a low voice, he asked, "Are you getting off at Long Island?" I nodded. "Yeah." He smiled faintly. Good. I didn't want to get off alone. That made me uncomfortable. There were other passengers in the coach. "Why alone?" I asked. He turned toward the window and said, "Because on this line, strange things happen after the last train." I gave a short laugh. "Just rumors." He said nothing more. A few minutes later, the train slowed down and stopped at a small station. The sign read, "Ravenwood Halt." My heart skipped. That station had been closed for years. Everyone in the coach looked confused. No one got on, no one got off. Suddenly, the man stood up. "This is my stop." I stared at him, but this station is closed. He looked at me. The exhaustion was gone from his eyes, replaced by an unsettling calm. Not for me. He stepped off the train. The doors closed. The train started moving again. I looked out the window. The man wasn't on the platform. For a brief second, it felt like he was walking beside the train, matching its speed. I shut my eyes. The next stop was Long Island Terminal. I got off quickly, my head spinning. I walked into a small coffee shop on the platform and drank some water. That's when I noticed an old newspaper clipping taped to the wall. The headline read, "4 passengers disappear after boarding the last train. Date, 5 years ago." My chest tightened. One of the faces in the photo was him. Same face, same eyes. I asked the man at the counter, "Do you know this guy?" He nodded slowly. "Yeah, they boarded the last train late at night, never made it home. Case was never solved." My throat dried. "Does the train stop at Ravenwood Halt?" He stared at me. "That station's been closed for over 10 years. Trains don't stop there." At that moment, my phone vibrated. Time, 12:35 a.m. A message from an unknown number. "You got off safely. I didn't." The timestamp read 5 years ago, 12:35 a.m. The phone slipped from my hand. The next day, I spoke to a friend who works in transportation. He lowered his voice and said, "Some people don't realize they're already dead. They keep repeating their final journey." I have never taken the last train again, because one day someone might look at you and ask, "Are you getting off here?" And if you answer, you may never get the chance to get off. It was 11:47 p.m. I was sitting on the couch in my apartment, laptop open, working on some late-night emails. Outside, a light rain tapped against the window, the kind of drizzle that makes Seattle feel even quieter. My place is on the third floor of an old brick building in Capitol Hill. Long hallways, dim fluorescent lights that buzz and flicker. I live alone. My parents are back in Ohio, and I moved here for a tech job 2 years ago. My phone buzzed on the coffee table. Unknown number, Seattle area code. I answered. Hello? No response, just faint breathing, like someone had their mouth right up against the receiver. I said again, hello? Who's this? A soft, short laugh, then the call ended. I shrugged it off, probably a wrong number, went back to my screen. 5 minutes later, same number. I picked up. A woman's voice, calm and low, almost a whisper. Are you Ryan? That was my name. I froze. Yeah? Who is this? I want to see you. I'm right downstairs. Open the door. How do you know my name? Who are you? I'm standing at the bottom of the stairs. Just let me in. My skin prickled. I walked to the window and looked down at the street. Empty. Just wet pavement and parked cars under streetlights. No one. Stop messing around, I said. I'm not messing around. I'm at your door now. The call cut off. I went to the door and peered through the peephole. The hallway was empty. The light at the far end flickered. I locked the deadbolt and slid the chain on. 10 minutes later, the phone rang again. I didn't answer, but it kept ringing. Then I noticed something weird. My phone was on silent mode, yet it was vibrating and ringing like normal. I picked it up. The screen showed the call was still active, even though I hadn't spoken. The woman's voice came through. Why didn't you open the door? I'm right outside your apartment. I spun around and looked at the door. Nothing. But then I heard it. Soft scratching, like fingernails dragging slowly across the wood. Scrape, scrape, scrape. I backed away, heart pounding. I tried calling 911. No signal. Bars were 0. 3 slow knocks on the door. Knock, knock, knock. I looked through the peephole again. Hallway empty. But on the floor right outside my door, a small piece of paper lay there. I hadn't opened the door. How did it get there? I grabbed my phone's flashlight and shone it through the peephole. The paper had one line written in black marker. I'm already inside. I yelled, looked behind me. The apartment was dark except for the laptop screen, but under the bed, something moved. Not a shadow, something shifting. I ran to the kitchen, grabbed a knife from the block. The phone rang again. I answered. The voice on the other end was mine. Why did you grab the knife? I'm you. I threw the phone across the room. It hit the floor and bounced, but before it landed, it was back in my hand. The screen showed my own face in selfie mode, but my eyes were solid red. I dropped the knife and ran for the door. I unlocked it, flung it open, and bolted into the hallway. Empty. I raced down the stairs, but every landing looked the same. I kept ending up back on the 3rd floor. Then, right behind me, a whisper. I'm the part of you that you tried to kill. I turned. A guy stood there, exactly like me. Same height, same hoodie, same jeans. But his eyes were empty, black. He smiled. You forgot me, but I never forgot you. Everything went black.
I woke up in my bed, morning light through the blinds, phone on the charger, no missed calls, no messages. But when I looked in the mirror, my eyes were slightly bloodshot, and in my pocket, a folded piece of paper, written on it, "I'll be back tonight." It's 11:47 p.m. again. The phone is ringing. Unknown number. I won't answer. But I know if I don't, he'll come inside. Because he's me.